My name is Sarah
Hi.
Stoker. I am the founder and the creator of the newsletter called If You Know, You Know. It is a newsletter for creatives and business owners to learn about AI tools and even to watch incredible interviews like this. John, can you tell me about yourself and why the heck are we talking today?
So I've been at the intersection of tech and entertainment and like media and marketing for 15 to 20-ish years at this point.
You started when you were five,
Um,
right?
yeah. I have a very nice skincare routine. I'm older than I look. Graduated from Second City Conservatory in Chicago. So I've done a lot of theater. I've did some of the first VR experiences, HBO's Ascend the Wall for Game of Thrones. So this deep level of telling stories using technology to facilitate it and how technology kind of unlocks these interesting magic tricks, and we're constantly coming up with new ones and people don't really know what they're capable of. Like deep faking is a good example. People are like, oh, AR, you can like paint stuff over your screen or like paint stuff over stuff, and it's like paint a new face on your face. That's a cool trick.
Yes.
um, so yeah, always digging into like how can we do something interesting with this in a way that people aren't going to expect before they kind of realize the full capabilities. And I think we're talking because you and your listeners might find that interesting.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe. And
maybe.
when you even say magic tricks, is that what you're hoping for? The things that you're building is to create the unexpected?
Yeah, that's how I think about it. So it comes from like any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So I think of this as what's the magic trick we can do with this technology? What's the magic we can do for people that haven't adopted this tech and don't know? So obviously, a lot of that is AI, but more and more people are savvy to what it's capable of, how widespread you can do some of these really crazy things, emotional magic tricks.
The best kind of magic tricks. I just went to Magic Castle last week, so I
Oh,
feel
cool.
like, oh, it was really fun. But tell me, John, what are you building right now?
I don't say this lightly as somebody who's worked in this for a long, long time, but we are building a new form of entertainment, like an entirely new form of accessible entertainment for people. So we combine a lot of what makes gaming work, theater, TV, film, virtual reality, etc. into. Have you seen David Fincher's movie The Game? Some
It's
people are familiar with
amazing.
that, some people aren't. ARGs is another thing where it's like alternate reality
Oh,
games. They did that for
okay.
Halo's I Love Bees. They've been these basically like somebody finds a USB stick at a concert in the bathroom, and then they like are like, I'll take this because why wouldn't you? Plug it in. It has some weird images with some obvious puzzles. They share it online. They're like, what the fuck are these puzzles, guys? And all the Redditors jump on and are like, I figured out this thing. There's a code hidden. So those have been used for a while, but we've taken it and made it much more personal. So it's not quite as communal of an effort. It's like you are the hero of this experience that is in
Mm,
a blend of kind of digital world and real life. It's a lot of things, right? It's like it's live acting performances. We send you stuff in the mail. There are potentially physical places or something you have to do, but there's a lot of like websites, virtual reality, text messages, emails, like very easy stuff. And all of this in combination is you kind of taking part in this multimedia, multi-sensory immersive experience. And the fact that we have a platform that automates all of that together seamlessly is the reason that like this won't cost you $10 million to do. Like this has been a thing for a while, like theater
mhm.
for one, or somebody building out, these crazy like global escape rooms essentially for like millionaires to go and do. But this is like an affordable, like widespread means of doing something that's really interesting that kind of comes into your day-to-day life.
What was the catalyst to start this?
I recognize that this was a combination of so many different things that I have done and started achieving mastery at in my life. So this combination of new tech adoption, seeing the matrix of how a new tech could be used, theater, storytelling, non-traditional storytelling, non-linear storytelling. I know I worked a couple of years doing like software and QA. That's like as close as I get to engineering and development, but like understanding how that logic works, how you should be piecing things together, how APIs work, working as an actor and a director, and recognizing that we could also have live humans be a part of this, and it could be this blend of technology and performance, and recognizing it just was that kind of like Steve Jobs, like, oh my God, we can put this tech into a phone. I was just like, oh shit, all of this is duct taped and all of this can be automated and move forward as a product, and people would be into it. Everybody I talk to about this idea is like, when can I do it? I would love to do it. I want to try it. What does that feel like?
How do
So
people sign up? How do they get involved?
Sure. So our website where we host everything is app.unshut.me. That's kind of the core website where you can find out about The Ruin, which is our short form horror product, Singularity, which is our new Apple Vision Pro product, and Black Box, which is kind of our flagship, most intense kind of luxury offering.
Yeah, it's intense language, that's for sure. I went and played around with it this weekend and I was like, whoa, am I sure? I loved it though. It's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Like what we're doing is kind of the opposite of traditional entertainment, and it messes with people the first time they kind of dig into that, right? This is the opposite. Like you don't go to an escape room or go to a theater or go to, whatever. It comes into your life. We send you things, we contact you, we give you instructions to go to websites and things. And that having this kind of come into people's lives and layer on top of it is very different than how anybody's really experienced entertainment. It's very thrilling and exciting because they don't know where the next thing is going to come from. It's like the walls are erased and like the options are open for like, the person that just dropped off this package, like, do they work for the company or is that like a normal UPS guy? And like, if I go to a website, like, oh my God, did they hack the New York Times website, or are they running these ads, or am I just seeing a coincidence in the numbers? Like, it really does start to kind of permeate how people view the world around them in a really fun way. So that's why it's a paradigm shift. It's a completely new form of entertainment. Like people don't have their lives transformed into entertainment. It's always within some sort of screen or box or location or something like that. So,
and almost like control, like, oh, there's a distance between this and there, and like there's consent to like what you can bring in. But I think you're really changing, I don't know if it's the word power dynamics, but I think you're definitely turning the tables on who can be entertained and why. Who was John in third grade, fourth grade, that era, if you will? Who was John then? And what were some of the things you were doing then that you are completely different or the same to what you're doing now with your wonderful skincare routine?
I started reading Edgar Allan Poe when I was like 7 years old. I started reading Stephen King when I was like 9. So always really been into horror at like a very deep level. And it has evolved into how to affect people emotionally, how to make someone feel excited about something, and it's like, obviously I was able to monetize that in marketing. A consistent thing has always just been like learning, ravenously reading. Like if you read about like the Oakville blobs, is crazy. It's like this jelly fell from the sky and like made people sick and stuff. And it's like super well documented. Still don't really know what caused it. And then you see like, people who are like into conspiracies and stuff. And it's like, I don't know why you're barking down that tree. Like there's real shit, like the Dyatlov Pass incident, where like these hikers went out and then were lost, and then they found the remains, and it's like their tents were like clawed from the inside out, and all of them removed their clothes. And this was in like Russia. This is like super cold Siberia, like, and no one knows why. They're like, there's a weird theory that like the sound waves that were crashing off of the mountains like hit them with a certain frequency that made them flip out. There's another, like they were potentially experimented on by the government, and then they went out, and then it's like the effects hit or whatever. But it's just crazy to me that this like group of 9 experienced hikers went out and then like tore themselves to shreds. And we're just like, we don't know why. And I've been doing that since I was a kid. So,
oh my gosh, I was hoping for
so that hasn't really changed.
Tap dancing, or we also like the amount of people that are in this AI emerging tech space who also did theater as a child is, there's a big intersection here. And I have like more questions about that as someone who was a theater major in college and went to a performing arts high school. But went down a little dark path, which I'm not surprised by with you. So I'm not mad.
That's what I'm saying.
Could you brag a little bit about this project? Can you tell me at least one technical fact that you're super stoked, like, hey, we've been the one to introduce this new cutting edge technology, what have you. And this is my selfish way to hopefully make you brag about some of the amazing projects and aspects of this project.
There's no bigger brag than saying I invented a new form of entertainment. I think that's the biggest thing I can say. I feel really good about that. That's crazy. Add something that's on par with like video games or VR or like a theater, which has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm like, here's a new thing. When I started this project, I was like, I can't talk about this. People will copy me. Like everybody has so much money, and it's like, and now I'm just like, good luck. I wish you all the best. If you want to copy me, it's so hard. It's been so hard to connect these things and automate them and make all of these technologies talk to each other. And like the technical hurdles we've solved for connecting these APIs and like seamlessly integrating AI into this customization. It's just everyone could do a part of it, but they can't do all of it is the thing. It's like if you wanted to do an AI NPC, great, like you could do that. Can you get that AI NPC to give me a phone call and start sending me text messages and draft up an email and send that to me, or like mail me a package, like a care package? It's like, no, but we can do that. So I'm really excited for, the path of starting to work with bigger companies and corporations and working on something like Stranger Things or Squid Game or like some crazy franchise where it's like we could create some sort of global scavenger hunt or like this crazy story. I've been talking with one of the guys at, Grauman's Chinese Theater, and they're like, we want a reason for people to come here and do anything. And I was like, well, what if you had a murder mystery that was hosted by like James Dean and Marilyn Monroe, like the Black Dahlia is like an unsolved old Hollywood murder. Like there's all kinds of fun stuff to play with. And if somebody could take their phone and like be doing this, and it's like, that's a part of Hollywood now, like that old school level of Hollywood, being able to do a cool project like that. Obviously, these are all, just examples of things that could happen, but rolling this type of entertainment out to people. And like the thing that makes me the most proud is if you imagine being at a party and it's like everyone, like we're all kind of talking and then there's a lull in conversation and everybody immediately gets out their phone and it's like scrolling through Instagram or like, text messaging your friends or doing something. Can you imagine pulling out your phone and it's like urgent from like, a secret agent that you're like a part of, and it's like one of the people that you've been talking to at this party is a spy. You have to find out who it is. And you're like, oh, your entire paradigm of reality shifts in that moment. And you look at everybody completely differently, where it's like, fuck, who is it? Is anybody acting suspicious? And now, do I tell other people at the party about this? Can I enlist them to help me out? Are they in on it? Do they have their own missions? Like having this just be in the world, out in the wild, I feel like will just make for such exciting moments in people's lives day to day. It just makes everybody's life a little spicier. And I feel like that would be really nice for all of us to kind of have.
And the thing that I also love about this is I feel like for so many entertainment things that we're seeing, it's, oh, hey, there's a lot going on in the world and I want to escape to the screen and I want to numb out and I want to just scroll. And for me, this feels like, oh, no, I should go back into the world. I should get into people's spheres and spaces and energies and connect. And I think I haven't seen a medium of entertainment that community is the pillar. You can't have this product without having other people.
Yeah. Well, I will say our goal is also to be personally transformative, right? Like we make you the hero of your own adventure. We put you through a hero's journey. Hopefully at the end of that, you have a hero's transformation, right? So I think it can be personally transformative. I think it can be, communal, where you're working with other people. But I will say one of my proudest things in creating this is that it improves people's critical thinking. When you start having to think about the world around you in different ways, you start thinking about the delivery guy, you start thinking about websites, how you're using social media, what, you're receiving and from whom, and what it might potentially mean. When it's a given that there's an extra layer there, you start thinking about the other layers that are also there and have been there for years and years, right? So that's been really cool to just see people thinking about technology and their usage and how they're living their life and how they're integrating. And I think, the best thing we can do as human beings is increase our education and our critical thinking moving forward so we can solve more problems and stuff. So if I get to do that in this really roundabout, selfish way, like, cool, great.
Wow. Like mic drop. There it is.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's the whole reason, like behind all of this creation, if you don't have a why, you don't have a purpose. Is there a vibe of the day or like a quote or something that really has affected your work in this week or last week that you want to share in the hopes of anyone who's listening to this, they can have a better day or they can feel connected or seen? I'm thinking of the folks that are listening, hopefully, or other entrepreneurs, other business people, other creatives, anything you can kind of give that would inspire and help and hope and give hope to those types of people. We're Googling, we're doing something.
I've been trying to I have one quote that has just affected my life for a long, long time. And that's probably, I think that's probably the one I'll go with. But I was checking my Notion to see if I had another one that I was I want to start saying this more. I don't. The quote that I just find consistently over and over and over that I live by and that I see other people living by, whether they know it or not, is a quote from General Patton, who says that I've found that in battle, planning is invaluable, but plans are meaningless. So this idea of going through the motions of, what if we do this? What's plan A? What's plan B? What's plan C? Let's think through the variables. Let's think through strategy. Let's think through the way to attack, the way to defend, the way to do this, the way to do that. You think through all of these different angles. And then as soon as it hits the ground, you're like, great, they're doing something we completely didn't plan for. Our shit is not working the way that we thought. But because we did all of that planning, because we've seen we have an idea for how this might work out, because we've thought through all of these different strategies, you can pivot like that, right? So that flexibility and that adaptability, and that it's the same thing with like production. It's like, do more pre-production, do more pre-pro, do more planning, do more storyboarding, do more work on the script, right? Then once you're on set on the day, it's like everything goes out the window. It always does. Something breaks, something's not working. You have to change location. It's raining, an actor's not doing a thing. A prop didn't come in the right way, like, whatever happens, and you have to pivot. But the more familiar you are with the material, the more familiar you are and have been planning, and what the possible plans are, the easier it is to be like, great, well, we can solve it with this way and this way and this way that we talked about. Which one do we want to do, right? So that quote keeps coming back to me. And if you had asked me when I was 8 years old if I would ever quote General Patton, I would have been like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, no, of course not. It's like a war boy. Like, I'm not into that. But like, here we are.
To full circle, that's where the magic happens.
In battle.
No, I mean, that's when like when the plans don't happen as you think that it was supposed to. That's where that's where movie magic happens. We're like, oh shoot, now this is a rain scene, and now the Notebook is I mean, I'm sure that it was written in the book, but now you think of that.
That's the entirety of Casablanca, right? This masterpiece was like, every day they're like, let's figure out, what should you say today? What should we do this? We'll have you say this. We'll have you stand here. We'll have this scene, right? And it's like doing it in the moment, thinking through what you could do, right? I agree. Like improvising, synthesizing, that is where the magic happens. Yes, 100%.
Anyway, John, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, and for your work. Where can folks find you? How can they engage with you? Where can they sign up? Tell us those answers.
Sure. I'll say that my company website is app.unshut.me, but if you want to follow me on TikTok, I'm at Johnny Jack-O-Lantern, and I do some fun content there that has nothing to do with my work.
I love it. Cool. John, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I appreciate it.
Thanks. You too. I should have a ring light. I don't. Should have a dedicated external camera. I don't. Like, I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what the repercussions are of not doing that shit. I've been working in like media and production and shit for like 15 years. Like, I get it. Yeah.
Real recognizes real.
This looks nice.